17th Person I Met. I don't always prefer crying in front of people because I personally feel that it's attracting attention. But sometimes when you cannot predict the situation and when it gets emotionally overwhelming, we do tend to cry, and I'm not against that, but I don't really believe in crying intentionally. I gave my resignation in that company, basically because I wasn't very comfortable and there was a lot of misunderstanding. Now I joined this company like around 6 months back as a content writer, and I really had a good time. The company was in itself was very friendly to me, and people over there, they treated me like a wonderful friend, and I really enjoyed the place. But things really don't go the way we expect, right? And that's what exactly happened with this company as well. I didn't feel comfortable when things started being dictated to me, and when the demand was high, I realized that I couldn't cope up with it. So I gave in my resignation. What exactly happened was, in the middle of my work, I had an unmanageable situation where I had to go to college for my final semester examination. But the management actually really understood my situation really well, and they said I have to work from home or work from my college on those days. And I didn't really have a lot of problem with that. Even though I was not very productive as I would be when I'm working in the office, I still gave them some content. And by the way, I wasn't paid for the days that I didn't go to office, but I still had to work from college. But that wasn't a problem because the management understood my situation, and for a management that thinks about my situation, it's good that I also help them out, right? So it really did work out well. But as days passed by, there was a lot of demand, basically because the company was moving on to a new phase. And I was really happy about this shift. So I wanted to contribute as much as I could. So even though I was working from college or working from home, I decided to give my best so that nothing goes lacking just because I was not in office. My colleagues used to work extra time even when they are in office, but I couldn't do that because I had to drive long way to my home, and when it gets dark, I cannot ace driving really well. So I had to leave sharp on time, but I made sure I worked from home. And there was this one day where I worked even till 12 o'clock midnight just to cope up with everybody, and I wanted to contribute for the shift to the new phase. And then we moved to the new phase. I showed up in the office after my semester exams, and the company had actually moved to the new phase. And what actually made me feel completely down was that I was not comfortable the moment I moved inside the office, because people over there made me feel that I wasn't a part of their shift to a new phase. And I was not feeling really happy for that, because I did given my contribution, and I was compared, I was made to feel that I was not enough. And that's when I dropped my resignation letter. And I also mentioned in my resignation letter that I will work for the notice days. But then again I was misunderstood, and again there happened to be a rift, and I said I immediately wanted a resignation, and I know for a fact that the management was not really happy for that immediate resignation. But then I wanted to win the quest of my self-respect when contribution was taken into consideration. So I said I wanted an immediate resignation. So that day they told me I had to return my ID card and my access card. So I returned it to the management, and I had to walk out of the office building, and I wanted someone to open the door for me because I didn't have the access card. So I asked another colleague of mine to open the door for me. So she kept the access card and she opened the door for me. She looked at me in my eyes and she said, "Dear, you should be a blessing wherever you go." And the tears in her eyes actually made me understand that she really meant it. Now this person is managing the pantry in the company. So we don't really meet a lot, we don't really talk a lot. She's the housekeeping person in the company, and she only joined after 2 months after I joined. So we just knew each other for 4 months, and our conversations weren't really long. But then she said, "Dear, you should be a blessing wherever you go," with tears in her eyes. And the moment I saw her, I didn't know what to respond. I faked a smile and I said, "Akka, just let me go with a smile on your face, please smile." And she tried to bring that curve on her face, but still she couldn't. She still had that tears welled up in her eyes. And on seeing her, I didn't know if I really wanted to cry, but immediately my eyes started welling up. And then I said, Akka, I should leave. And she repeated, dear, you should be a blessing wherever you go. And that voice kept resonating in my mind. It still keeps resonating in my mind. And her smile is still on my face. Now this person is the 17th person I met.